And today, this video is gonna be about what happened yesterday in the NBA, because yesterday was a wild, crazy ass night. Monday, the 10th of November, man, that's the best night. Like when I say night of peak action, where it was just pure hoops since probably the second day of the new season. Like madness was just going on, and we're gonna be breaking it down, reviewing the best games, the best highlights of the night, all of that business, you feel me? And I feel like there's no better way than to start with the overtime, an overtime game against Washington Wizards versus the Detroit Pistons, right? The highly talked about Detroit Pistons. We're seeing a new renaissance in the NBA right now with the Detroit Pistons. Is it the bad boy Pistons? No, it's not, but it's Cade and them. It's Cade and them. It's Cade and them boys with Jalen Duren and Sar Thompson, Holloway, all of those guys, bro. They've been hooping. They are balling right now, man. They are on a roll, man. They won the game 137 to 135. It was a tight game, an overtime win. So both teams needed an overtime to be separated. If I actually giving it a brief reaction, right, a brief overlook, I actually thought it was a very interesting game. I thought for the Wizards, I thought Sar in the first half was actually decent. He was knocking down his shots. He was very, effective with the moments he had. He could still be better, right? I thought Cam Whitmore, man, was a demon. He was insane, bro. I know you guys saw that dunk. Like, he dunked that. He put so much vim, so much ferocity behind that dunk. Like, that had energy, bro. He looked like he wanted a body there, right? But I thought the best player for me was the McCollum, right? He kind of rolled back the hands of time, or whatever that saying is. I thought it was an excellent performance from McCollum. He was such a major scoring threat for them. He was basically their bucket getter. He was their number one option last night. And if they were gonna win, it was gonna be through him. It was a bit disappointing with the way the game ended though. Like, he played so well. And he's been kinda on like a mini tear himself, where he's been having a couple of recent good performances. But man, the end there, I think it was in the overtime. He had two chances to win the game himself. I think it was a bad shot that hit the side of the backboard, right? And then he also fluffed a layup. So that's disappointing on his end and on the Wizards' end. But I just feel like for Detroit now, man, I think they've been on a crazy resurgence in the NBA right now. And the person leading them, Cade Cunningham, man, another massive night yesterday. What's that, 46, 11 and 10? He had a triple double. Like, it was another great game. Jalen Duren, again, man, like, showing why he has the potential to become one of the elite big men in this league. There was a play where he showed a bit of battle work, by the way, where I was like, yo, like, is this Jalen Duren? Like, say sweat, fives, the five positions moving like this, Centers are actually getting a handle now. We're seeing it with Wembanyama. I'm going to get onto him very soon, but it's actually crazy. But back onto K though. Like, I don't want to take anything away from the game. It was a strong game. But 45 points on 45 shots taken. 17 made. Bloody heck, mate. Are you taking a fucking piss? Are you having a laugh, mate? Because I don't even know if I should praise that, obviously, aside from the scoring, I still think he had a massive impact in the game. Just like him being there, just him playmaking and stuff and finding his teammates and that. But I think 45 points on 45 shots is insane. Like, you could definitely be a bit more efficient than that. But nonetheless, there was still a good game. And yeah, man, another good thriller tight game. And we're going to roll onto the next game, you feel me? 138 to 140 to the Miami Heat. The Heat beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in the overtime. Another overtime game. So I just thought, why not? Let's just break it down. You feel me? I thought it was a very good game. I think out of all the games last night, that and the San Antonio game were the two most entertaining games to watch. Down to the wire stuff. Great action. I thought Man, Donovan Mitchell was Donovan Mitchell. I thought he struggled though. Like it wasn't. I know he got 28 and 13 or whatever it was, right? But I thought like I don't know. I thought it wasn't his best performance, right? I thought like he was very inefficient at times. He was still able to impact the game, right? With the shots he made down the stretch because Donovan Mitchell's a demon. He's Mitchell in the clutch is the scariest player, guys. Trust me, I've been there, bro. When I'm watching Boston, right, on the other end, and I'm like, bro, we need you to chill the f out, bro, because he goes into demon time in the clutch. He had another crazy clutch performance yesterday. There was a mad, insane shot he made, right? I think it was in like overtime to tie the game. Yeah, it was in overtime to tie the game, right? He tied the game like he was falling out of bounds in the corner, chilling in the corner. That's an insane shot, and it's like, man, to make a shot like that just for you to not him specifically, but like them as a team to give up that weak ass shot at the end to Andrew Wiggins, like, oh come on, man. Like if you're gonna lose a tight game, you'd want it to be like I don't know, like an insane shot or well drilled play, right? But like that was just, oh man, it was still an insane finish from Andrew Wiggins, right? And what a way to win an overtime game. But being on the losing end of that is just gonna suck. But I think number 5 on the Cavs was he was a flamethrower, man. In the second half, he hit like 3 or 4 back-to-back threes that brought them into the game, or were keeping them in the game. He was incredible. I think it's like Sam Merrill. I'm not sure if I pronounced his name right, but yeah, he was very good for those guys. I thought DeAndre Hunter as well had another good game. But for the Heat, man, there's one player in particular I think, right, has been good for them this season. Jamie Jaquez Jr. He's stepped up. He's gotten better this year, guys. I think like, obviously Norman Powell. Oh my days, Norman Powell, bro. Norman Powell's a flipping number 1 option in the NBA. But I have to talk about Jamie, right? I thought Jamie, he's been good this season. He's improved. You can kind of tell he's improved in the game. He's becoming more of an offensive threat. But as a defender, guys, he's incredible. I don't think he's incredible. Yeah, man. Sorry about that, guys. Fire alarm just decided to go off. But wow, what I was saying was right. I think Jamie Jaquez, right? I think like I wouldn't say he's an insane defender, but like I feel like he's still, a very good defender. He's a very good defender, right? I'm basically gonna put it down as that. He was staying. In my opinion, I thought he was staying well in front of his guys. He was beating his opponent to the spot. He was holding his own, or possibly just doing even more than holding his own. I thought he was doing very well in his one-on-one matchups. I thought he was very active around the rim, getting second chance buckets and tip-ins and things like that. So yeah, I thought it was a great performance. Norman Powell though, like Norman Powell, number 1 option in the NBA, like 33 points yesterday. He's been the leading scorer, and why is the Heat so freaking good, bro? I might have to make a video on both of these teams, the Heat and the Pistons, because like I think the Pistons not so much because we've kind of seen their upward trajectory from like last season or the end of the season before. But like the Heat though, like we saw the damage or the importance that Butler had on them, on the Heat culture, the Heat in the playoffs and things like that. Obviously Butler leaving a player of that magnitude is gonna cause a massive hole in the team, but they've done well to replace him with a couple of trades they've done. For example, Andrew Wiggins. I'm thinking of the OKC Wiggins. Wiggins and the rest of them, Norman Powell. Like they've done well to replace, the hole that Jimmy Butler left. And man, they've been good this season. Like they've arguably been one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. But it's just that I do know, unlike the Pistons, right? The Pistons are going to be a threat of hers. Are the Heat going to be a threat? Are they going to have resistance come playoff time? I don't know about that, but hey, man, in my opinion, if I was a Heat fan, I'll just be enjoying the ride, man, because what I'm seeing from your team, it's been good stuff, man. Like you guys are playing well right now at the moment, so yeah, it's just about keeping that going. Milwaukee versus the Dallas Mavericks, man. 116 to 114 to the Milwaukee Bucks, man. Giannis. Alright, man, just give the MVP to the brother. Just give him the MVP, man. Just post it to his home address, and I think he's the MVP. I know Luka's averaging. He's averaging 40. I know he's averaging 40, but what I've seen from Giannis, right? I think availability is going to be the biggest separation between Luka and Giannis, because I believe availability is the best ability, right? So I just think Giannis consistently being out there for his team, I would give him the edge or the advantage over Luka. But it's not even just that. Like, I still think, other than the availability aspect, I still think Giannis as a player, bro. Like, this he's improved, bro. And he's done it again. I think 30 points, 8 and 6, like, was a great outing for Giannis, man. The way he got those 30, man, like, and his game improving. Giannis can pass, guys. Giannis can pass, bro. I think there was a play in the first half where he's going for like a post fadeaway in the paint, but he kind of kicks it or dishes it out to the corner man, and I'm like, bro, Giannis, are you being for real? And it's like, Giannis is starting to get comfortable now with shooting. Like, he's getting comfortable with his jump shot. Good to see for him, but dangerous to see for the league, right? Giannis he's bumping his guy into the paint, into the elbow, and then he's turning around for like a hook or a fadeaway. Giannis doing fadeaways insane. And then obviously he made a clutch shot in the fourth quarter to kind of like help them on their way to the win. I'm like, Giannis, bro, are you for real? He's been incredible this year. Like I said earlier on, man, you just give him the MVP. He's been the best player in the league this year, and I don't know why people aren't really talking about him. They're talking about Wemby, they're talking about Luka. Again, it's either the recency bias or is what kind of Tatum suffers from, right? Like, the name, the appeal is just, MVP nowadays or individual awards is more of like a narrative or media based, right? Where they want to give it to the guy based on like the name, or like if your name has glitz around you, or I don't know. But for some reason, like, they just want to give is a narrative based awards, basically, is what I'm trying to say. It's starting to feel like it, at least, because remember last season when they were pushing Ant hard, like they were saying Ant is better than guys like Tatum. I'm like, are you? That's besides the point. I think Giannis, though, yeah, man, he definitely deserves some MVP love, to be recognized as the best player in the world, because he's playing like it, man. He's playing like it. Ryan Rollins, man, I think he's been this team's, in my opinion. I think Kuzma has been playing well this year, but I think Ryan Rollins has been this team's biggest like spark, right? Coming into the season, no one really had Milwaukee, being a high seed in the East. They're currently defying odds. I think they're a top 4, top 5 seed right now, so they are very competitive in the East, despite them losing Dame, them losing a couple of other pieces, and this is like Miles Turner, without Miles Turner being effectively in games, playing a lot. So once they could get Miles Turner back for a couple of more games to get him in the rhythm, I think, hey man, sky's the limit for them. When you got an MVP playing like that, and you got, like, Giannis just being who he is kind of always going to give them a shot. That's why I never really believed that they weren't going to make the playoffs. But back onto Ryan Rollins, though, I think, like, the Golden State Warriors gave up this guy, and do you think they're starting to regret it? Because I think he definitely could have helped them, but he's been a player this year. He's definitely helped the load with Giannis, man, at times. Like, I've noticed that a lot of teams are starting to have good role players that are having a breakout season. So, for example, Ryan Rollins with the Milwaukee Bucks. You have Jamie Jaquez with the Heat, right? You have Holloway in the Detroit Pistons. You have Laravia with the Lakers, right? So, like, we're having a lot of role players, or a lot of players in the league having a breakout season, which is, in my opinion, good to see. Good to see. But yeah, that's the Milwaukee side. The Dallas Mavericks side, man. Oh boy. You guys saw the news earlier on today. They fired Nico Harrison. I feel like I don't want to talk about that too much because it'll just elongate the video, but my brief thoughts on that is, man, when you trade Luka, I don't think at the time, I don't think it was his sole decision or his like he was the sole voice around the trade, right? I still think there were other people involved in it, but I just feel like, hey man, like he was in the limelight and he's gonna go down for it, unfortunately, you know. Um, I think when you trade a guy like Luca, you're kind of walking a fine line. Like the fans, the city, they were never gonna forgive him, even if they did go on to have an amazing winning season with a good record in the regular season, and they did well in the playoffs. It still wasn't gonna feel enough because they traded the guy of the city, basically the guy who had the keys to the city, to keep the keys to everyone's heart, right? Like Luca was that guy. He was a superstar in there, right? They saw him as the MVP in Dallas. So when you're trading a guy like that and it's not gonna work out, you start the season 2-9 or 2-8 or whatever it is now. Yeah, man, like there is gonna be pressure on your head. There's gonna be pressure on your job, and unfortunately, you got the sack. But on to the Mavericks, though. I think Cooper. This is Cooper's best game, I think, since coming into the league, right? He had a very good game despite the loss. A bit unfortunate as well, tripping up. He had the opportunity to kind of tie the game or take the lead, right, to win the game. But I thought he had a good game. Cooper's game is it's nothing flashy, but like I've said in previous videos, it's just so polished, so well rounded for a guy of his age. People forget he's only 18, bro. He had a tough play on Giannis actually, where he made a tough layup on him, which I thought is good. But I just think fundamentally this guy is sound, man. Such a good player. I'm not really hearing the pressure or talks of him. I think he's kind of been put in an unfortunate situation where Dallas coming into the season, there was a lot of hype around them. Kyrie's injured, AD hasn't lived up to the billing, and their team is just in shambles right now, right? So he's kind of taken a mantle and he's playing in a position that he's not really used to. They're playing him kind of as like a point guard. That's not his game. That's not his game. In my opinion, that's not his game. So I think there's a lot on the guy's play as a rookie as well, 18-year-old coming into the limelight like that. But I think, we're going to see the best of Cooper soon. I think we shouldn't really be quick to make judgments on him. D'Lo was all right for them. Klay Thompson is you set my fire. I hate to break it to the guy. He's a legend in the game, but yeah, man, it's tough seeing him like this. But overall, man, it's tough for the Mavericks in general, bro. Like, where do you guys go from here? Like, you're 2-9, bro. Nobody envisioned this. Like, the San Antonio Spurs it's looking like the Spurs are the best team in Texas, yo. Legit, like, it's actually looking like that. But man, Mavericks, I did not envision this for you guys. I can't lie. Wendy, Wembenyama, Uga Ekatike, Uga Ekatike, Uga Ekatike. Man, shut Uga Ekatike / Wembenyama, man. I thought Wembenyama. I mean, actually, let me actually just stay out of the game I'm reacting to. I'm reacting to the Spurs versus the Chicago Bulls, man. 117-121. An amazing performance from Wembanyama. A good performance from the Spurs overall. The Bulls tried their best. Josh Giddey wasn't in the game, so without their star player, they put up a good fight against a really good team this year. Because the Spurs, that's what the Spurs are, a very good team. But Wembanyama, man, this guy, I don't know how many times I have to say it, but this guy's a freak of nature. He's defining logic. He is defining physics, bro. Right? Man, no 7'7" or 7'5" or whatever height you want to list him. He's pretty damn tall, right? No guy that size should be moving like that. I don't understand. Like, he was a blocking machine in the first half. He was getting those blocks and then walking up the court like it's nothing, just draining down another three. Cause who cares? Cause he's Wemby. He could do anything, right? He's like Gear 5. He's literally Gear 5. He's Gear 5 Luffy. He could do anything he wants. He could turn into any shit. He's like a what do you call him? A shapeshifter. That's what Wemby is, bro. He's fake, right? In the second, all my days, he was clutch. Like the way he turned up in the fourth quarter. I feel like, I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting for a game like that from Wemby, to like, a close game, but to kind of see him take over like that, like to put his foot on the pedal. like to kind of show who he is, right? To take ownership of the game. I've been kind of waiting for a game like that, and it was a very tight game, right? Fourth quarter, down to the wire. Another down to the wire game, which is why last night was crazy. Yeah, I've been waiting for a game like that. He took onus, man. Like, he took onus, bro. He had a no look dunk, which is insane. He barely jumped for that in the fourth quarter, but man, like the way he was ISOing, like he had a crazy play, guys. So he was like, crossover, and then like sidestep into like a free. That was the dagger, bro. Like, I'm not gonna lie. If I was to see a 7'7" slender man do that, right, and rise and then knock it down, like, I'm just gonna call it quits, bro. Because what can you actually do, bro? Like, there's actually no point of even putting our hand against that, let alone jump and contest it. Because like, oh, it's so big, bro. Like, you can't challenge that, man. But Wemby is an anomaly. I thought Stephen Castle is having a good season. I think like playmaking wise, I think he's leading all sophomore players, like year 2 players in assists. So he's been very good facilitating for them. And De'Aaron Fox coming back is another bonus for this team, right? Like, they've been doing all of this noise without Fox. Now Fox is back. And they're only gonna get up from here. And where do you guys think the Spurs are gonna finish in the West this season in this crazy ass conference? Because it's like, this is a darn good team, man. It's crazy to think they're gonna be the highest risers in the NBA. I think. Like, when I say highest risers, I mean their position or their seeding last year to this year, like where they could finish. I think the sky's the limit for these guys. I think they could be a top 4 seed in the West this year, which is an amazing season, man. We're finally gonna be seeing the Spurs in the playoffs, because I kind of like that. You know, the NBA has a bit of aura in the playoffs when the Spurs are relevant and in the playoffs. Is a good thing for the NBA, right? Especially now with a talent like Wemby. So it's just good news all around. You feel me? And I think for the Chicago Bulls, man, I think it was, I thought they done well to kind of compete in the game, even without their star player Josh Giddey. I thought Vujovic in the first half was good, knocking down his shots. Smith for the Bulls was keeping them in the game. The guy with the goggles, yeah, he was doing well. But yeah, man, it just wasn't enough, man. It just wasn't enough. But yeah, man, another great game. I kind of react to. There was a couple of extra insane games that I would have loved to talk about, like the game against the Jazz, Lakers versus Hornets, another tight game with the Trailblazers and the Orlando Magic. But this video will just be too long, right? But if you guys want longer videos, just let me know. Just say the word and I'll be there. You feel me? But yeah. The Hawks versus the Clippers, right? No Kawhi for the Clippers. Is it a surprise? 35, 10 and 11 for James Harden, man. Like, this guy, I think he's been doing this since last season. Actually, I thought he was their best player, the Clippers' best player last year. And a good performance yesterday, but just wasn't enough, But man, Harden's still putting up these numbers. And we're not talking about this guy. Like, we don't talk about Harden enough, I feel like players around his age kind of wither away. The exception being KD, LeBron, and Steph, obviously. But like, I thought, he was getting a lot of heat for like his body and things like that a couple of seasons ago, where that would, or you could say, was kind of the end of prime Harden. But I still feel like over the last year or so, he's been able to return back to a form where he's actually beneficial to the team. Man, I thought he kept the Clippers in that game. He had a very good game. Like, James Harden has nights like this, to be honest. He can still put up nights like this where he's just filling up the stat sheet and just an offensive weapon, right? Decent game yesterday. Just wasn't enough again. The Hawks, Johnson, great game. Tingus Pingus, man. Another good game. The Hawks are doing all of this without their best player, Trae Young. Another team I actually had high hopes for. My predictions, right? I was seeing the Hawks as a top 5 seed this season with Trae Young, right? And I would have thought the Pat Beverly beef, I don't know if it's serious or not, but I would have thought that would have kind of lit a fire under his belly for him to have like an MVP contention season, right? But it's a shame with the injury, man, and that's gonna kind of set the Hawks back a little bit, just a tad bit. You feel me? But they done well to get the win. I thought Dyson Daniels, right? Um, I would kind of want to see better from him. He had a good game last game, right? But, yeah, I still feel like he had a presence or an impact on the game, but you know, especially with Trae Young out, I would kind of want to see him take the extra 2 or 3 steps, you know. But hey, man, I can't really complain. They won the game. He was still decent enough in the win. But yeah, guys, that's my overall review of the games yesterday, bro. It was a crazy night, the 10th of November 2025. An insane action, an insane night in the NBA, guys. Obviously, you got the Boston Celtics back in action tonight. You feel me? MVP, the other MVP. If it's not Giannis, best believe, bro. I know Tyrese Maxey, but best believe, bro. Jaylen Brown, bro. He needs to get MVP love. The MVP love. The Finals MVP. The vote MVP. Jaylen Brown. Why is my camera cutting out as soon as I see that? That's crazy. But yeah, I'm gonna end it here, man. Since my camera don't want to talk. Oh, it's actually dead. Fez, camera died, but I'm gonna end it here, man. Thank you for watching.